Today we got Raven taking on Magik. Who wins? Well, let's find out. Raven battled the forces of evil alongside her adopted family, the Teen Titans, all while trying to control her baser, antagonistic instincts that she inherited from her demon father Trigon. Raven's most visual ability is the power to separate her soul from her body, taking the shape of a huge blackbird. She can use her soul self to teleport herself and others, escape from her physical body, and create shields to protect herself, and she can even use it to empower herself to hurt Hal Jordan. She can also use it as a means of containment for enemies, which also kind of proves to be traumatic for people, since they are forced to come face to face with their nightmares. However, even though the soul self is usually intangible, it can still be disrupted by magic and concentrated sound. Raven is also a very powerful empath. It is able to manipulate and sense the feelings of others. She's forcibly caused both Nightwing and Kid Flash to fall in love with her, cause people to feel the pain of death, and even has the ability to feel the emotions of an entire planet of people. She can also heal people by absorbing their pain, can calm people down by eating their anger, and even steal people's emotions and make them numb. Raven isn't just an empath either, but also a telepath, as she's erased memories and altered minds, forcefully extracted knowledge, and even telepathically tormented villains. She's able to teleport herself and others anywhere she wants, even being able to travel through time and dimensions, and is even suggested that she's able to travel to non-parallel dimensions. Raven is actually able to move through time, and is immune to time manipulation because of her demonic heritage and her father being Trigon. Raven is also able to cast magical spells, as she's knocked Red Robin out with touch, launched balls of fire and powerful electrical bolts, and even completely destroyed a demonic army numbering more than 3,000 demons. And that army even contained some individual demons that had previously taken down the Teen Titans. However, magic is one of those rarely seen abilities, and Raven doesn't use it in every fight. Then, in the other corner with Magik, the younger sister of Colossus, Alani Rasputin is a mutant teleporter, a sorceress, and the ruler of Limbo, and is currently a member of Storm's team of mutants, residing in the Jean Grey Institute for Higher Learning. Alani has two very distinctive powers: her mutant ability to generate spatial temporal warps in the form of stepping discs, and the other is her magical ability that she learned while in Limbo. These stepping discs, the yellow rings of glowing light, allow her the ability to teleport, and she can not only teleport herself, but groups of individuals, and she can travel to a multitude of different places, including destinations in both time and space. Magik has teleported large groups of both allies and enemies, used her stepping discs to overcome demons, and she's even teleported out of the way of Thor's hammer. The only limitation to her teleportation powers is that she has to use Limbo as her stopping point prior to her final destination. Magik also hasn't quite completely mastered her teleportation ability just yet, as the greater distance over which she teleports, the greater the possible margin of error. Like when she teleported from New York to California, she was planning on arriving within seconds of the time she left, and she actually arrived 1 week in the future. However, Alani's potential is nearly limitless, and she was even once told by Doctor Strange that she had the potential for manipulating time on a very wide scale. Then Alani has spent much of her childhood in Limbo, where she was trained extensively in magic and the mystic arts. She can bind and control others, metamorph and transform herself and other objects, generate concussive bolts of mystical energy, create magical force fields, create mystical constructs, generate, manipulate fire, project herself onto the astral plane, and travel between dimensions. Then, finally, Magik also is the Soul Sword, which is the ultimate embodiment of Alania's magical strength, and was forged during a time of great need and despair. It grants her rulership over Limbo, allows her to disrupt magical spells, absorb souls, augment magical powers, grant her super strength, and summon mystical eldritch armor. So, who wins? Let's break it down. Now, I really like this fight, because both of these heroes have similar-ish powers, are powerful magicians and sorceresses, and could even be classified as devil women. But who's more powerful? Well, that's the ultimate question here. And so let's start off by looking at their teleportation powers. Now, I gotta say that Raven has got the more powerful teleportation powers. She's able to teleport herself and others anywhere she wants, even being able to travel through time and dimensions. And it's even suggested that she's able to travel to non-parallel dimensions. In fact, Raven is actually able to move through time, and is immune to time manipulation because of her demonic heritage and her father being Trigon. In fact, she was able to use her teleportation powers to hide from both the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor, who supposedly had the powers to be aware of where everyone is in all parallel dimensions. She's also a whole lot better at using her teleportation powers in combat. Like Magik has teleported out of the way of Mjolnir when Thor threw it at her, and other things like that. But Raven is able to go all out and channel her inner Nightcrawler, teleporting all around enemies and taking them down. On the other hand, Magik hasn't quite reached the full potential for stepping discs, and actually still even makes some mistakes with it, like when she was trying to instantly teleport from New York to California, and accidentally ended up in California a week into the future. However, Magik does have one catch that makes her teleportation potentially a whole lot more dangerous and powerful. She has to teleport through Limbo to get anywhere. We'll circle back around to why that is so important later on, but just for now, remember that is a big deal. Now, Raven reportedly teleports to another dimension before teleporting somewhere else as well, but that isn't nearly as significant. Instead, I want to talk about Raven's empathy and emotional manipulation. Could she use this to take down Magik? Well, to be fair, it's some ridiculously potent and powerful stuff. Like, for starters, she's able to read people's minds, erase and alter memories, forcefully extract knowledge, and telepathically torment villains, and force them to relive the worst moments over and over again. She's also just simply destroyed people's minds before. Then, with her empath abilities, she's caused people to feel the pain of death, can eat someone's anger and calm them down, and even steal all of someone's emotions, and turn them essentially numb. So manipulating someone's mind and their emotions like that could really defeat most people. However, here's the catch. She's gotta get into someone's head in order to do it. And Alania has a crazy strong psychic defense that can actually protect her from even some of the strongest psychics out there. It's actually even been said that she carries an entire dimension of semi-demonic energy inside of her head. And even powerful telepaths like Jean Grey and Emma Frost are afraid to enter into her mind. So Raven might not be able to manipulate Magik's mind or emotions. And if she does, there will be serious consequences. Demons might even take over Raven's soul. So what about Raven's soul attacks? I mean, that is arguably her most powerful attack. And as she separates her soul from her body, she's actually managed to go up against and hurt both Green Lantern and Orion. However, that is actually a very, very dangerous attack for Raven to use against Magik. And by that, I mean dangerous for Raven, not Magik. And that's because of the Soul Sword. Most of Raven's offensive uses of her Soul Self are completely neutralized by the Soul Sword. And the Soul Sword can actually absorb souls. So sending your soul out as your primary form of attack probably isn't the best strategy here. Magik could also use the Soul Sword to just straight up kill Raven, as she's part demon, a magical being, and a magic user. Then there's also Magik's Eldritch Armor. The armor is a part of her, and an extension of her Soul Sword. So the more magic she uses, and the more she manifested the sword, the more the armor will pop up, and the more complex it will become. The armor also makes her nigh invulnerable to both physical and magical attacks, and it can morph to add additional protection, as even the Soul Sword itself was useless against her armor when Sima tried to use it to decapitate her. So basically, Raven doesn't have a lot of ways to take Magik down. Her empathy won't be very effective because of Magik's strong psychic defense. Her soul attacks are gonna be null and void with Alani's Soul Sword, and even while Raven has the ability to cast magical spells, she rarely uses that ability, and it's not seen in most fights. Plus, Alani is a much more powerful sorcerer anyways. Magik has defeated a goddess, who has been acknowledged as one of the greatest magic users in the Marvel Universe, and beat a demon wizard who was actually the Sorcerer Supreme in his home dimension. She even took down Dormammu alongside Doctor Strange. And then I want to circle back around to what we talked about at the beginning of this breakdown. The fact that when Magik teleports using her stepping discs, she always transports through Limbo. And in Limbo, she's the ruler, and is considered to be the Sorcerer Supreme. She's defeated Doctor Strange in Limbo, can control entire armies of demons to do her bidding, physical laws are determined by the personal taste of the ruler, she's taken away other magical beings' powers, and basically, while in Limbo, Magik can do whatever she wants. Her will becomes reality. And she's shown before that she can teleport other people into Limbo. And since there's no way out of Limbo, except for Magik's stepping discs, they could be trapped there for forever. Magik has even shown the ability to raise portions of Limbo to the earthly plane, demons and all. And with Limbo on Earth, her powers were significantly increased. Basically, Magik has almost every advantage in this fight. Raven doesn't have a clear way to put Magik down, since Alani has a nice counter to all of her powers, and Magik even has a great track record for wiping out demons. And since Raven falls in that category, I'd say she can come out on top here as well. Magik wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts, so sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe button for more videos just one every single weekday, and I'll see you next time.